possible. That'd be an extraordinary performance in the 3-2-3. Here's the man setting the pace, Rod Millen. Car number 12, the RX-7. Carburetted, 13B, peripheral port, 300 horsepower motor.
This Rod's keen to keep out of the tracks that the other cars have left when they've taken off.
This is a similar version of the space-framed RX-7 that he ran at Pikes Peak, but that one was turbocharged. This one with a fairly conservative 300 horsepower. But have a look on the way up at just how beautifully this car is balanced. It's almost mid-engine, and it just does everything beautifully. He's already been around this course this morning at 1 minute 00.67. As close as you can get, really, to that 1 minute barrier, and he thinks it is within his grasp. As the track has dried out a little, the car is performing beautifully, and Rodney is getting to grips with the circuit.
He looks as if it's driving on gravel.
A little wider coming out of there than he had been on the previous run. But this is the bit that he gets right. 36.94, what a split.
And a fast exit from that hairpin as well. Was moving very quickly right the way through the hairpin.
Now my not very good mental computer says this is around a minute on that split time. Let's have a look as he comes down to the line, and we're going to make history at Ashley Forest. We have 59.90. And a huge cry from the crowd down here by our commentary box. Rodney Millen has broken that psychological barrier on this hill, the 1 minute barrier.
Right.
And he's happy too.
Is there anything left? Yeah, there's a little left there.
Well, he's a fairly easygoing sort of fella, but he was certainly excited by that. I spoke to him earlier this morning, and he thought that the minute was going to be fairly hard, but he'd give it a whirl. Well, we've seen the minute barrier broken at Ashley Forest now, 59.9 for Rod Millen. And he stays on top of this contest. On the road now, Malcolm Stewart in the Audi Quattro. The 85 model run by Hannu Mikkola in the International here. Still a very competitive car, although it is technical, and has a handicap on this circuit with the top corner, which is tighter this year than it has ever been before. While he's got 420 horsepower and four-wheel drive and a works car, it is a little long in the wheelbase and a little heavy, Mike, to get around that top corner.
Yes, you can see it coming into that top corner. It sledges at the front a bit, and when it slides, it's sliding bodily sideways, not really under control like Rodney's car.
So we'll have a look at what sort of split time he can do. He is currently the third fastest qualifier with a 5.92.
This is one car that is capable of faster times.
39.96 is the best split he's had.
Now this will be a quick run.
That's bringing him down into the 64-second bracket. Malcolm Stewart getting more aggressive than we've seen him before on this hill. He has been a little conservative at times in the way he's driven this car. It is not an easy car to drive quickly. 5.64, a little slower than I thought it would be.
5.64.
5.64 for Malcolm Stewart. Still leaves him in contention at the top end of the contest. This is Dave Thexton in the Mazda RX-7, whose qualifying time so far is 1.866, which puts him in 11th place. Everybody's improving.
That's a long low gear that he's got there, Tony.
Certainly holds it for a long time till the rev limiter comes in.
Maybe taking off in second gear, trying to overcome the advantage that the four-wheel drive cars have got.
Have a look at his split time as he gets to the top. He certainly needs improvement to stay in the contest. He's done remarkably well so far. 1.866 his time into this round. And he's going to need to improve that.
41 at the top is a very good time for a rear-wheel drive car today.
We're dividing now by half, so this round of 16 comes down to 8, and he at the moment is 11th. Let's check on his time as he gets down to the bottom. The 8th that he needs to improve on. And a 6.8. That's a good improvement. And that lifts him up at the moment into the top 8. But we've still got some competitors to come that may just exclude him. On the line, Graeme Barker of the Mazda RX-7 with the local 3 motor. Quad cab, V6. Not an unusual combination. V6s have been put in a few of these RX-7s. Don Brindley runs a very successful one on circuit races. This is an older motor, but still producing over 400 horsepower. It should get him up the hill fairly quickly. Mike, he's done exceptionally well so far.
Well, he improved from about 1 minute 12 to 1 minute 6 in his last run. And he said there's another couple of seconds to go. This is one of the few cars here today that could be a threat to Rod Millen. If only Graeme had more time to sort it out before this event.
The problem has been he hasn't had much time in the car and very little time on the circuit. With the kind of improvements he's been showing. Amazing, 41.82. Oh, and it's gone horribly wrong on the exit to the hairpin, and I think gone are his chances.
Yes, Graeme has lost his chances now for sure.
I think he will know by now that he can't really get down this hill quick enough to put him in the top 8.
No, he's just driving it out. Big disappointment for Graeme. He tried very hard to get the car here today.
1:14. Hard luck. Too many mistakes after exceptional improvement. And Barker is down the tubes in terms of that top 8.
1:14, a few problems up there.
A lot of problems. 3 big losers, one after another, and lost our way in the gearbox. Sorry.
Let's have a look again as he came off that hairpin. He got it all wound up. It overcorrected just slightly and he ended up pointing the wrong way and almost off into the weeds.
Almost into the truck.
On the road following Barker is Barry Robinson. This is the fellow from Winton. Barry Robinson in the Chevette 2.3. Very laconic sort of a fellow, very droll sense of humour. He sits his co-driver in the back seat to get better weight distribution. Chevette's, Mike, notoriously heavy in the front.
Yes, it's a heavy engine. Basically, the engine was out of the a van, Tony.
They call them Bedford coupes. This one with the 4-valve cylinder head, the loader's head, which was the forerunner to Vauxhall's version, was used initially in rallies and then banned as a non-homologated part. 41 dead.
Bit slow out of the hairpin. This won't be one of Barry's better runs.
You had 1:6.96, which is an exceptional time for this car. He always does go well at this hill. We'll see if he can repeat that. That at the moment puts him in 7th place. With people improving, he probably needs to pull about half a second off. 6:44 is an improvement, and I think getting to the limits of what that car can do. 1:6.44 is going to be borderline for the 8.
Puts him in front of Neil Allport.
6:44, Barry, is that going to be enough?
I hope so, Rob.
Any more left there?
Oh, if I do it right a little bit, perhaps.
Barry Robinson says if he does it right, there might be a little bit more there. But I think realistically, that's getting to the limits of what that car is capable of doing. Brian Green next up in Malcolm Stewart's Audi Quattro. What did Stewart manage in the car?
1:05.64, Tony.
So that's getting quick enough to get them up there. I wonder if Brian Green, who has been as quick as Malcolm Stewart in the long distance rallies, can get to grips with this hill. He's had a few hassles with it. We know the car's capable. Looking at his time on the way up. He's on fairly good pace so far, 420 odd horsepower, turbocharged 5-cylinder Audi engine, hauling him up the hill in good style. We'll see what happens when he gets